for all the Man United supporters, I think Man United are a fantastic football club. They really are. I mean, one of the, if not the biggest football club and one of the most glamorous and most successful. They are, I've said it. Can I just throw this out? Who was the first person to call out Pogba as a pudding?
You.
Thank you. I'll rest my case.
When you called him a pudding, what else did you add to that? You quite simply weren't having him at all.
No, I can remember the first time I saw him. It was a semi-final of the Champions League. Juve versus Real Madrid in the Madrid Stadium. I was doing it with Jamie Redknapp and Thierry. And Jamie was raving about this young midfield player that eventually wait till you see him. And I came away from that game thinking, he's not for me. He's not for me. And
never has been.
Never has been. I think I was proved right. In his time at Man United, he would have to be regarded as unmitigated failure.
So how does that make you right about Martinez?
No, I'm saying I'm not. No, I'm liking Martinez. I've never said there was anything about Pogba. Yeah, I don't want to talk about him. With Martinez, I'll say there's a lot to like about him. But I'm saying he will get found out in our football.
Okay. I mean, there's another message. We'll get off Martinez in a second, but Jim Graeme surely doesn't need any reminding. He was in Italy. Baresi, Cannavaro, they were 5'9".
No, they're bigger than that. I played against them.
But I met Baresi.
No, well,
Graeme.
I did say.
I was looking down at him.
Did I not say it in our league? When you asked me the question, I did say in English.
All right.
I didn't say Premier, but I did say our league.
Okay.
Listen, I love people who show that aggression. People who are saying, okay, you want someone to carry the flag, I'm up for this. He'll want to fight. He'd cause let's just say, bother in an empty house. I love him for that. I love him for that, and I like players like that. But unfortunately, he plays for the wrong team. But I still stand by my. We've
allowed him to disappear away from the original question. He's like the Eddie Hearn of answering questions at this moment in time. He talked about the increase in signing better players, and I still haven't heard him tell me who United have signed that's better.
Well, Casemiro will make a big difference to them.
You weren't particularly enamoured with him.
Yeah,
you weren't particularly enamoured with him when he came along.
Well. But what have they had in midfield prior to that?
But you weren't having him 2-3 weeks ago.
You
got to make your mind up, Graeme. This is disturbing.
Steady Edward.
You try to put words into people's mouths. What I said, he's a steady Eddie.
I talk over them.
I say he's a steady Eddie. Unbecoming. It's not terribly attractive, but anyway, I'm sure we'll reach that point.
So Casemiro is now your argument that United will sign better players.
I'm going back to the football decisions they made.
Casemiro's never been a great player.
But I don't see him as a great player. I don't see someone's going to
get... You just named him as a standout.
Well, you just listen to what I try and understand. I mean, when I woke up this morning, I think I was still speaking English. So please...
your version of it.
Please try and understand what I'm saying. You're accusing me of calling him a steady Eddie. I stand by that. He's a good steady Eddie. He will hold the fort.
Right.
That's what a steady Eddie is.
Right.
He's a good player.
But not a great player.
Not an average steady Eddie.
A steady Eddie's a good player. A steady Eddie's a 7.5, 7 out of 10 every week.
The case you're making...
No, when you spoke to us about Casemiro, sorry Simon, that day you said he's a steady Eddie, with the inference being he's kind of no more than that.
With your inference, that's how you take it. Steady Eddie, in my language, means he's a 7.5 every week. He is a real team player.
It struck me, when Casemiro came in, you were a little bit disdainful of it. You weren't that particularly engaged by it.
No, that's your interpretation.
No, because I sit across the table watching you, and I picked up on the body language, and I picked up the disdain.
That is your interpretation.
And what your underlying observation is that somehow or another, that all of the transfer activity during the period of Louis van Gaal, David Moyes, Jose Mourinho and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was all done by the village idiots in the boardroom and nothing to do with your brethren being the managers. That's the point you're trying to... hang on, I'm reading... You talked about every signing was done by not football people.
It's accepted by most people who have been involved in football or around football.
Well, you mean that motley crew in Sky with you?
And
talking about
Ed Woodward
things that you don't know could possibly going on in the boardroom.
Well, they had what was the big tall chap who was at United who left?
David Gill.
David Gill.
Who's not a football person.
David Gill and Fergie left.
But David Gill's not a football person.
They were very heightist. They were obviously the football decision makers at Man United, and they were very successful. After that, there was no one filled that gap, and I assume, like everyone who's been around football in this period would assume, Ed Woodward was making football decisions, and they didn't make many good decisions. Spent £1.1 billion on players.
But David Gill, who I know, is not a football person by your logic. He's an administrator. So now because you want to give him some lauded and applauded position because Ferguson is your man and Ferguson is a unique manager.
I wouldn't speak over you. He
No,
and
you're doing it for
Fergie,
me.
you don't listen to me. He and
I don't hear
Fergie,
anything worth listening to.
and Fergie were making football decisions.
Right. So again, so why would you not believe, just for the purpose of this
So who was
conversation?
Ed Woodward leaning on?
Well, Jose Mourinho, perhaps.
Well, they got them wrong, didn't they?
Right. So a football manager was in the mix.
But we
Yeah,
don't
not
know
all those
that.
non-football
We don't know
people.
that. It was generally accepted
Just so we clear it up.
that Ed Woodward was making the football decisions at Man United.
But you don't know that.
It's generally accepted by. I'm
By
like
who?
you.
By people that don't know.
I listen. I've got a
By Gary
suggestion.
Neville.
I have been in football directly
Oh, you're gonna
for
do this again, are you?
38 years.
Right.
Yeah.
For 38 years, and then on a peripheral of football for 16, 17 years through media work.
Right.
I obviously speak to people in football, and that is my information that I garnered in that period that Ed Woodward was making football decisions.
The very same people that would have been sat in those rooms with Woodward when he was making those decisions. So what you were
course
going
not.
on was third-hand information.
No, I'm going on, like you talk about contacts, like you mentioned your close source a week ago today that Aston Villa are going to wait until
Near
after
the World Cup.
after
before-
the World Cup, and later that day
Yeah.
appointed a manager.
Here's Emery.
Slightly better sources than what Jim has, and I would suggest what you have.
Oh, I
No,
like
the
that.
sources that you have support. It's an echo chamber for you. They support the argument that you
Certainly
want to
not.
have, which your argument
not.
is. No, it
Well,
is, Graham.
it's not.
You're saying David Gill is a football person in conjunction
I
with Alex
didn't
Ferguson.
say he's a football person. I said he was
the one
he was
person that was a
working
football
with
person in
Fergie.
that
He was
conversation,
a football
whatever a football
person.
person is Alex Ferguson. He made the decisions, and David Gill supported him.
Yeah.
Now maybe Jose Mourinho didn't have the wherewithal with Ed Woodward. Maybe Louis van Gaal didn't have it,
Yeah.
and maybe a variety of football managers came up short, and then they allowed the guys in the boardroom not to support them.
Remind me never to mention Lisandro Martinez again, especially on a Monday morning.
Oh, he's gone off on a tangent, which is not unusual. And
No, because you haven't told me what this wonderful buying cycle is now. You've given
not
me
said-
one player,
Who
Casemiro.
said wonderful?
You said they're buying better players, so they've made better decisions.
Better and wonderful.
Did I hear
are
that?
very different
All right.
words.
Okay, paraphrasing what you said then.
And Casemiro, if you're listening this morning, good morning. Steady
You're
Eddie.
average.
10:30.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Friday mornings from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.